Hey there, beautiful Earth Angels. Elvia Rowe here, founder of AngelsTeach.com. And today we're talking about a topic that fascinates me anyway, and has really given me a lot of fruit for thought. And it's this concept of assumptions and the impact that the assumptions we make all the time, honestly, have on life and the quality of life and the reality as we experience it. And for many months now, I've been really wondering and contemplating this idea of assumptions possibly being the root of all evil. And yes, that's an extreme statement. And it's a really, again, this is like the world inside my head. You know, it's fascinating to me. And as I've thought about this over these many months and watched the assumptions that I make, as well as the ones that I witness other people making, I'm really thinking that it has a lot to do with the disruption and the violence and the wars and the hatred in the world when we make assumptions about other people and about ourselves. The Doreen Virtue and my thoughts on her change of heart video that I published back in, I think it was February, has given me a lot of data for these ponderings of mine, because most of the comments are truly lovely, truly lovely. A lot of them are, I'm just feeling the assumptions in there, and maybe I'm making an assumption about that. But there's one comment that somebody made that, and my assumption is that they meant it, that it's not really Doreen Virtue herself anymore, that it's actually a man who's standing in for her and posing as her. A lot of people made comments that she's just in it for the money, and that's her only desire all the way around. And these are judgments, yes, but they're also judgments based on assumptions. And that's really where I want to be focused right now. And one of the assumptions that I think applies to you if you're listening to this is a recent comment was that the whole light worker community is lost and that we don't have a clue and that we just need to wake up. And, no judgment, only love, only compassion. Everybody's playing out their roles here on planet Earth. But these are claims that people are making not knowing me, probably not knowing you, probably not knowing Doreen Virtue, and they can be harmful, they can be hurtful. And as I said a moment ago, yes, I am making some assumptions here. We do this. It's a natural part of being human, I think, to make some assumptions, because it helps us to navigate the earth plane. Right? And that's really the bottom line. But we need to keep them in check and make sure that they're really harmless to the extent that we can manage that and control that. So true or not, our assumptions, they really are a reflection of our consciousness, truth be told. They're never going to be guidance. They're never going to be from your angels. They're never going to be about truth. They're simply our own projection of our own inner self, of what's inside us onto other people. So when we're making an assumption about what somebody else is all about, that's our own view of the world projected out on them. And, that's where I think a lot of relationships can get into trouble. So again, sometimes these assumptions really can be totally harmless. I'm assuming that you want to hear this, and if you're still watching, I'm right. If you're not even hearing me. So other times, assumptions can be really hurtful, deeply hurtful, and darn right devastating. A lot of assumptions are based on prejudice. They must be idiots because of the color of their skin. They must be stupider than we are because of their religion. They're just, lost. They don't know what they're doing because they live in a certain neighborhood, then have a certain zip code, then they must be this way, that way. All these things, these prejudices, and wars have come out of this kind of thing. So as we look inside, looking at the assumptions we make about ourselves, because that's really where it all starts, and I'm hearing the bedrock of where we need to be focused in these things. We can have assumptions about, I'm never going to find true love. I'm never going to be able to afford it. I'm just not worth it. All these kinds of assumptions that we make about ourselves that really aren't truths. So this is what I really want to drive home for you guys, is that these kinds of assumptions are never, ever going to be from your angels. They're never, ever going to be aligned belief systems. And they're never, ever going to, if you rely on them in totality, serve you to be who you're here to be and do what you're here to do. It's just, yes, like I said, we make assumptions to help us navigate life, but you have to be aware of that. And you have to be aware of, I'm meeting a friend for coffee. I'm assuming she's going to show up. I'm trusting she is. But it's a fine line. And you have to be really aware of when you're falling into the trap of assuming that you can't do something, that you're limited in ways that you really aren't, and that other people are experiencing a life that is not in alignment for them. So much about judgment here too, isn't it? So, reason I bring this up is because these kinds of assumptions that are hurtful and potentially even devastating, whether it's about yourself or other people, all kinds of stuff flows from that space. And it's usually not good stuff. I'm going to say it's always not good stuff when they're hurtful and devastating assumptions. So really the invitation that I'm extending to all of you this week is to just bring your awareness to the assumptions that you're making about yourself, about other people, and how can you raise the bar, how can you raise your vibration and really step into that space of trusting that you are a divine child of spirit, that you are unlimited with respect to what you're here to do and how you're here to serve and who you're here to experience, and also seeing that, leaving it open for seeing that to be true for others as well, because our world needs that so desperately. So with that, wishing you so much love, many blessings to you this week as we step in closer and closer to spring just around the corner. Much love to you. Be well. Until next time. See you.